from well.
Can't take anything away from Jake Stone or any of the riders that aren't progressing on to round number 6. They've all put on a great show here at the Arica Chilean Challenge presented by BSC and our main sponsor, Stealth. So once again, this is the last day of the event. We just finished off round number 6 and we're jumping into the quarterfinals. Ryan Hardy, Mark McCarthy's on the standing by. Any last words before you sign off, I guess, for the rest of the competition?
Just cheers to Stealth and all the sponsors for putting on this event. It's always one of the best events on tour, and it just makes it so exciting to be a rider, to be a spectator, anyone involved in this event. It's just such an exciting time for bodyboarding. And yeah, cheers to you guys. This is an amazing event. Sick to be a part of. It's
always a pleasure to have you here in the commentary area. So Ryan Hardy, enjoy the rest of the event, and I'll see you down on the ground.
Sounds good, Manny.
Okay, cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Coming into the hot seat now is Mark McCarthy, settling in. All right, take a look at this. PLC coming around the section, full speed. What's he going to do? Comes back up, drawing a high line to maintain that speed. Finds the pocket, gets barreled. Another section, gets another. Oh, I'm losing my breath here. Mark, put on your headsets. Help me out. So 2 sections, and PLC ends that wave with a barrel roll, a roll at the end of that one. Is he still on it? That is all she wrote for PLC. Here we go, right off the bat. Mitch Rawlins out the back in the red jersey, answering back with a bottom turn, goes into a roll right there, comes back to the bottom of that wave, looking for another section, finds it. Oh, backflip right there. Mitch Rawlins, unreal start to the first heat of the quarterfinals. PLC versus Mitch Rawlins. Mitch Rawlins in red, yellow, PLC. Pierre-Louis Colstez, your current world champion. Mark McCarthy, how was that wave exchange?
Good morning, Manny. Good to be back here. It's just, barely got to sit down there. It was just action, straight off the bat.
Yeah, unreal. I mean, this is the quarterfinals. One rider advancing on to the semifinals. And this is it. This is coming down to the nitty-gritty.
Pretty much quarterfinals could be finals on any other given day. This first one, Mitch Rawlins PLC. Then we'll be seeing Jeff Faber GT, followed by Dave Winchester. And here's a replay of Pierre's first wave. Let's have a look at this one. He's eyeing out that end ball, Manny. You check, it's supposed to go up and over, but it's offers him a nice little clean barrel. Gets in there situated.
He knows exactly where he is. He's looking for the end ball now. Wants it to move out the barrel, and just high lines it. Obviously, there's not much there for him. And just keeps going on sticking on. The judges want to see you sticking on that foam ball. Exit with a nice looping roll and another one. Cool looking. I don't know. It's going to be a close exchange here between Mitch and Pierre. And I think Pierre might have had the better of the exchange in that one. Because he got a nice clean barrel, and it does seem like it. Pierre's. We see before I give you those scores, we just have a look at Mitch's last wave.
A little bit more frothy, a little whitewash on his wave, but he was still able to pull off a roll right off the bat right there. As you can see, there are some bigger size waves coming in compared to yesterday, and then a backflip on his second maneuver. Lands kind of on top of the wave, but is able to push back into it and will be scored accordingly. So here are the scores for those first 2 wave
my gosh.
exchange.
Look at Pierre's wave. It's dropped, and it looks like it's going to be an 8-point ride. And we see Mitch's wave is 6.5, so he's already got a point and a half up on him. Wow.
How those scores for the first waves of the heat.
I can see why the judges, being a judge right out here, you want to, once you get the first exchange and they are pretty close, you want to throw down whole numbers, I reckon, and then just work your way up from there. And we see Pierre getting a whole number. He gets to 8, and he has a replay of Mitch's from a different angle. We can see he highlines it, gets a little roll on the top, and then you can see it just hits the reef here, and it just didn't fling him. It was a nice flip, but
nice.
You see he landed on top. If he landed a bit further down on the face of the water, it would have been more difficult. So that was quite an ezy landing for Mitch because he landed so far up there, and he just was able to use his legs to rotate, which the judges don't like to see either. So, yeah, I think that's a good exchange there. 8-point ride for Pierre. It might have been a bit too high, I think, because they don't want to leave themselves, blocked up at the top of the scale. Because this is only the beginning. This is 20 minutes into this 25-minute heat, and here we go. See PLC up on the left. He's eyeing out that end boy. He wants to go big. Bam, reverse, and sick way for Pierre-Louis Costes. It's not going to be anything on the excellence range, but it's definitely going to be another nice scoring way for Pierre.
Keep an eye on PLC. Watch his board. Watch his board just hit the reef, and there he is. He stops. He has to stand up on the jagged rocks right there and make his way out slowly when more water comes up onto the rock. So I'm going to take a quick break from here and hand it over to Tessa McKenna. Mark McCarthy, hold it down while I'm away.
Cheers, Manny. Yeah, I was just keep busy. Yesterday, I was actually, we met up with Manny for a bit of the Manny Vision. We went to meet at 5 o'clock, and he didn't rock up. So
Oh, no.
we won't forget about that. But here's a replay of last of Pierre's wave, up and over, bang in reverse. Nice execution of Pierre. So yeah, good looking wave. We'll see the scores. They'll be dropping pretty soon. I would expect in the mid range. He didn't get much pop or air for that, but had nice control. There we go. Nice here, last little screenshot of Pierre. And the scores have dropped, and it looks like he's getting a 5.5. So now Pierre's got an 8 and a 5.5, giving him a total score of 13.5. And Mitch now needs a 7.01 with only one score in hand, with a bit of a lull in the action. So yeah, a lot of action straight off the bat, and we'll just pop another real replay of Pierre's from a different looking angle. He's always gonna, he's always gonna hit that end ball, and he lines up and just didn't have much to offer him, but he just timed it perfectly. And yeah, that's why he got rewarded with the 5.5. I think if he got a little bit more air, if he got a little bit more pop, he would have been in the excellent range. But that wave did close out. It didn't have much, but we have stepping into the hot seat with me is Terry McKenna.
G'day, Mark. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah.
Well, last day at Arica, and it's a bit like Groundhog Day around here, isn't it? It's, every day's the same. It's just perfect.
It's another day in Arica.
Yeah, it's crazy. Today we've got the cloud. That's really good news, really, for the competitors as we see yellow into this one.
Yellow looking at this one. This is a nice looking wave. It's caught on the bit of the shoulder, gets in the barrel, comes out. He's going to look for an end ball, and didn't have much to offer. So, yeah, another day here in Arica. This is the last day, day 9 of the Stealth Arica Chilean Challenge, brought to you by BSC.
Yeah, well, here's a replay of this fellow in yellow, Pierre. Louis Costes, our current world champion, just parks it in the tube. And he's got the ability to just conjure up scores. We saw it in that previous heat with Dallas Singer. Looks like Dallas had him on the ropes there, but Pierre just somehow always manages to find that score.
It does. And I was chatting to Jerry about it last night, and we looked at the heat show, and I gave him my 2 guys that I thought he might make the final.
Yeah.
And he gave me his 2, and I had a lot of faith in Dallas. I thought he's been surfing really well out here, and if he had the opportunity, and he did, he had a good little left, and he popped a nice reverse, and unfortunately Pierre answered back a few seconds later with the score of his own. He got a barrel to backflip and get in at 8, and just moving ahead of Dallas. So we did see Dallas get knocked out in the previous round 5, and that's why Pierre's up against Mitch Rawlins in this first quarterfinals.
Well, there's going to be some incredible matchups today. And, well, talking about incredible performances, Ben Player just put on one, and Alex Leon's got him down there on stage. Take it away, Alex.
Tezza, down here with that last heat winner. Very high scoring heat too, Benny Player. Taking that one out, buddy.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough one. I was going up against Jake Stone, who's a really good competitor and always is able to pull out some pretty high scores. So I knew I had to go pretty hard, eh?
Yeah. Did a nice verse into the barrel on that right hander. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't expecting it to bottom out so quickly, and just thought I'd quickly do a little jamming in reverse, and the bottom just dropped out of it, and I just dropped straight into the pin and got a nice little barrel, and came out. And that was a good way to start a heat because I got in the 8s for that wave, so it was good.
I got to ask, you're on camera just before the heat with a Coke bottle. You're cutting it up and you're taping it. What was going on there, buddy?
Yeah, I've got this corked leg, like really, really bruised legs from my bodyboard, doing a backflip on my bodyboard. So I cut up a Coke bottle, and it's kind of wrapping around my thigh right now. I got it all taped up with some foam padding, and so I can do moves because otherwise it just hurts too much and I risk further injury. So I'm like RoboCop kind of.
Recycling, at its best. Well done, and did a nice backflip on that left too.
Yeah.
Good projection on that.
Yeah, that backflip felt good, and it was kind of a test for me to see how my leg felt, and it felt fine. So I'm kind of gaining more momentum and getting more confidence going into every heat. So next one, I want to go bigger and try a little bit more.
Yeah, well, good luck, mate. Taking on, who you take on in the quarterfinal?
Wouldn't have a clue, but hopefully I beat him.
I think it's Mike Stewart.
That's great news.
All right, back to you, Tezza, in the booth, buddy.
Very much. Alex Leon doing a fantastic job, and Ben Player looking very cozy there with the Land Chili girls doing a nice job bookmarking the competitors.
Yeah, that's excellent. Bit of a land sandwich after your heats, not too bad.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Well, there's the nice little overview shot, and great to see the swell come up. A little west in it today, Mark, so we got some more action on the right-handers.
Yeah, it seems like the lefts are closing out, but the guys are still getting scores out there in the lefts, and this is the rights we've been talking about. This is the longer-looking rights, and Mitch Rawlins has picked himself out an absolute gem out here.
Whoa.
Going roll, big roll on the outside. We're going to have to look at this in the camera. He's going to pull into the pit, and it just goes a little bit fat at the end there. He might just keep on this one. It might give him another ball, and here it does. Up and over, and he just sets himself into the barrel. The judges probably can't really see what's going on. Yeah, back in the barrel again. Wow, it's a long way, but Spinner's wrapped right all the way into the bay.
Whoa.
So length of ride he's going to get, and there's Pierre right in the back one, and wanted to look like he wanted to go for a forward air there, but the section just went a bit fat as he went up, and it couldn't change his line.
Well, we're going to probably drag back those waves and have a real good look at them again, folks, in focus on the replay. But, yeah, great two-wave exchange there between Mitch Rawlins and Pierre-Louis Costes. Let's start with this one here for Mitch Rawlins. And this thing looked like it was like almost leopard skin. It just got all those spots all over it.
Incredible looking wave from Mitch. You know, he just big bottom turn into a roll and just kept that same line with the bottom turn and went up again, looking for it in another section. Yeah, he's highlining it, releasing his rail, trying to get that speed, set himself up into the barrel. Probably got a few seconds in there, back in it, and the exit. I think exit with the roll out there again. So wow, it's going to be a good way for Mitch. It's probably going to be better than his first 6.5. He needed a 7.1 to move into first.
Well, there's his profile, folks. 29 years of age, currently ranked 3 in the world. And I tell you what, after winning the box, and he really got a taste for it. Here's the replay of PLC. Take us through this, Mark.
Yes, PLC. It's picking up. There's a lot of white water on this one from Mitch's last one, which is a little bit bigger. And he just eyes out that end ball. Here it comes. He's trying to generate the speed. It almost offered him that the potential to do a nice looping forward air, but that does mean Pierre did pull off first and he had to get back out there with first priority, and Mitch Rawlins is quite far behind him because he rode the wave for ages.
Yeah,
and
he ended up way downtown, way into the bay there. That's one of the longest waves I've seen ridden in the contest,
yeah,
actually.
It's crazy. We don't normally see those kind of waves out here because of this westerly direction we have. And look at this lineup in the next one, Teza. We've got Jeff Hubbard versus Guilherme Tomega.
Oh, my God. That is a clash of the titans, if I've ever seen it. Jeff Hubbard in the red from Hawaii, GT from Brazil in the yellow. And, of course, GT defending champion. And, well, Jeff Hubbard this year, I've never seen him more fit and focused. He really wants this world title. I mean, it slipped out of his grasp last year, and he's basically 12 months on the road this year just chasing this thing.
Yeah, he's dedicated his whole year. He's dedicated his whole life, chasing world titles, and this year he seems more focused than ever. Coming off a win in his hometown in Hawaii at the first event, and then just falling short in the box, and now he's fighting for. He's already got a 5th place. He wants to move into the semi-finals, which will guarantee him a 3rd. And but let's just wait for the last situation. But yeah, Jeff's looking strong, and I wouldn't hold back on Tomega either. He's a fierce competitor. We see him take out Amoy Laverne, who was actually the favourite to take out this event.
Yeah, well, Amori was surfing incredible. And, well, I hope you're enjoying the action as much as we are here, folks. It's the final day, coming to you live from Arica, El Gringo. And, well, the swell came in just in time. It's the final day of the waiting period, and it's been 9 long days. And, in fact, 8 of them have been webcast. So pretty cool that we, got to show some of the trialists and, went so far back into the mix to bring you all the action here from Arica. So thanks very much to Ren and the webcast team for doing a fantastic job. They just did a lot of extra work here. And, the contest, once again, has been a huge success, Mark. And next year, in fact, on tomorrow, I'm flying to Akiko to meet with the government, talk about a contest next year in between Antofagasta and Arica. So next year, we're going to have like a triple crown in Chile here.
That'll be
where
awesome.
There'll be 3 events in a row. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's quite a far way to travel, especially for me. I've got to travel pretty much 30 hours to get you, and to nail 3 events, so we're pretty awesome.
All right, well, we just got a little lull in the action here, folks. We're going to come straight back with more action live from Arica right after this.
back in and then go to screen.
Alrighty, well there we go, folks. That is the two guys in the water at the moment. It is Mitch Rawlins in the red, Pierre-Louis Costes in the yellow, and I've got Mark McCarthy from South Africa co-commentating with myself, Terry McKenna, on this final day live from Arica. And Mark, scores are in, mate. What's the update?
Wow, we did see scores dropping, and Mitch did need a 7.1 and looked like he did get it. He got a 7.33 in the last wave, pushes him into first with a 13.83 total, and now Pierre only needs a 5.83, so just under 6 for Pierre if he wants to take this thing out. And we've got just under 10 minutes, 9.5 minutes left now with Mitch in first, Pierre in second.
Alrighty, let's have a little look at the road to the final, shall we, Mark? And, well, it's been a pretty crazy one. Mitch Rawlins versus PLC in this first quarterfinal. Then it's Jeff Hubbard versus GT, Winnie versus Lester, and Stewart versus Player. We got some of the biggest names in the sport left in this contest, mate.
Yeah, it just seems like it's incredible. A lot of the older guys still in there, and probably the only new gun there is Pierre he's seems a bit he's in there, but he's got a good chance too with only 9 minutes left here. So it's a great looking end day here.
It's going to be insane, and it really is a lot of experience in that draw. And like you said, sticking out like a sore thumb is PLC. He's the only grommet amongst the mix there. It's a lot of those guys have been around for quite some time. And a lot of those guys, in fact, in the race this year for this IBA World title in 2012. Thank you very much, of course, to our major sponsors, the guys from Stealth. Julio and the gang from World probably watching down under, fellas. I hope you're enjoying the action. And, of course, Mick Parkhill and the guys from BOC. Thank you very much, Mick. And he's decked everybody out. And, Eric Roy's here been blogging his little heart out. And,
yeah, that's been
mate,
cool.
It's just been an unreal couple of weeks here in Arica again, hey?
Yeah, big thanks to those guys. Without them, this event wouldn't be possible. We wouldn't be able to broadcast it to the world. And it's just great to see bodyboarding companies being able to do this. And so we must just back those companies that are making these events possible.
All right, well, at the moment, it is the fellow in yellow, Pierre-Louis Costes, holding first priority, but he is in second place. He's got the best wave of the heat with an 8.0, but his second best wave is the one that's hurting him. It's only a 5.5. He needs to swap that for a 5.83, and he'll go into the lead. I mean, that's a no-brainer. He can get that quite easy, in fact, and we'll just, wait and see how this thing plays out. Plenty of time left on the clock, though, with... around about 7.5 minutes remaining. Here we go.
Yeah, we see PLC deciding he's going to go on this one. It's only decent looking wave of the set. It's a very long wave. It's going to offer him a big bowl on this thing. Let's see what he decides to do. Gets pitted on the first section. March has run away from him. He's going to make it out of it. He's still in it. And he just got lipped. He didn't need much of a score, Teza. He needed a 5.83, and he was in there for quite a while into that barrel. So very, very interesting what the judge is going to give him for that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was that was a pretty lot of tube time there. No more waves coming through at the moment, so you can see Pierre just shaking his fist. He figures he's got the score, and we're going to go back to the replay and have a good look at this one. Mark, take us through it.
Yeah, Pierre's got a few options here. Obviously, he wants to get the big backflip. He wants to go for the big move, but deciding he's just going to drag his legs in there, take as much time as he can, iron out what the barrel's going to do, and sets his line. Slows himself down a bit. The judges want to see you right behind that curtain. And he's in there for so long, Terry, and he just, points his board straight, wants to come out of the barrel, and he got pinched, but was able to hold on.
Well, that one just kind of chandeliered a little at the end, just kind of crumbled at the end, but he drove through and held his line pretty well.
Yeah. And
he gets the score too. He's gone up into the lead. We'll wait for this to just lock in, but there it is, Mark.
He gets a 6.97, and so he's got the score. He just got under 7, and now giving Mitch a bit of a... It's going to be a little bit hard for Mitch now. He needs a 7.65. Very doable for Mitch Rawlins. But let's see, these lulls are getting longer and longer while I think we have the tide pushing in.
Yeah, well, he's still got just under 6 minutes remaining, folks, in the first 2 hour quarterfinals live from Arica. Final day of this third event on the IBA Grand Slam Series. Of course, we kicked off in Hawaii in February, and, well, Jeff Hubbard, once again victorious there. Then we went over to the box where that man on screen, Mitch Rawlins, won his first contest in about 6 or 7 years. And, he was so stoked when he was on the podium over at the box. Of course, he defeated you, which hurt a bit. But anyway, mate, it was an awesome result for you, eh?
That was a good result.
You always want to win, and you must have been a bit disappointed. But, Mitch just, he let out some crazy noises during the interview. He just had so much emotion, pouring out of him. And, I really feel that, he's in a position to kind of fight for the world title this year.
Yeah, he'd be chasing. It was a long wait between drinks for Mitch. His last one was, a few while back. What was it, in Maui when he won the last?
Yeah,
he
like
lost
2007 or something, I think
so
it was.
it meant a lot for him, a lot of build-up, and he's been chasing it for a long time. He's been chasing the tour for a while, and he's really focused this year, getting first in the box, and now looking at trying to take up Pierre in this first quarterfinals.
All right, well, we've got a galaxy of hardcore supporters, as we do always here at Arica, folks, and just a couple of shots of the locals sitting on the wall. Great little spot to watch the contest from, and it really is one of the greatest natural amphitheatres in the sport, this one here, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, it's so incredible. The wave actually breaks literally 10 meters away from where the spectators are.
Yeah, so usually, when you have one of those high-flying landings, you can hear it from here. You hear the board like go pow and clap the water. Yeah, I mean, it's just literally you can hear the guys almost speaking to each other. Well, we're inside the final 4 minutes for this first quarterfinal. Mitch Rawlins on the back foot. He's looking for a 7.65. That would be Mitch's best wave. He's only got 2 scores locked in so far. A 6.5 and a 7.33. Pierre-Louis Costes got the high scoring wave of the heat with that 8. I came in late on this heat, mate, but what did he do to get that?
Oh, just as the heat started, it was a long-looking wave, and Pierre decided Pierre got the first wave, first exchange, and he got a long-looking wave. He got barreled twice. He got barreled almost 3 times. Did two rolls and got rewarded with the 8. And then Mitch got the one behind, and it had a bit of white water on it. He did a nice roll on the takeoff, and then got a little barrel, and he got a 6.5. So Pierre, from the word go, has had the best exchange, and he's holding it down here in first place.
All right, well, there's the graphic on screen. As you can see, time ticking away. Time is the enemy for the man in red, Mitch Rawlins. You can see him just like looking out to sea, hoping and wishing. I mean, this is what happened to Dallas Singer. He just ran out of time. These guys, quite often, wave selection is the difference between these guys at this level.
Yeah, that's going to be a big difference out here with these lulls, and what Mitch needs to do, and I think he's been in this situation before. He needs to wait. He needs to wait for a big set. And if he doesn't give him the opportunity, that's going to be unfortunate for him, because the small-looking waves aren't really offering much because of the higher tide moving in. So he's going to have to wait for the set, and we see Dave Winchester getting psyched and ready for his next heat.
Yeah, well, you can see he's got his game face on. Look at those eyes. They're fighting eyes.
Yeah, they're angry eyes.
He's looking like with a steely determination, of course. Finished second here last year to GT, and he'd like to go one further. So Dave Winchester, of course, coming up in quarterfinal number 3 against fellow Australian Andrew Lester. And then in the last one, it's the battle of the experienced guys. Mike Stewart v. Ben Play. That's going to be a cool one too.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. I just think I don't think Dave Winchester's got less than a third out here ever.
Yeah.
He's always made it into that semi-finals, or he's won this event one time before. So he'll be looking at getting himself a third, if not making it to the final in the first.
I tell you what, Winnie has got the ability out here to do is to drive through tubes that just look unmakeable. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but he just has like a real affinity with the reef out here, doesn't he?
Yeah, it just seems like he always just picks the right ones, and even these routes that don't look like they have much to offer, you'll go on them, and you could turn a average-looking wave into an excellent wave.
All right, well, you can see Mitch Rawlins there just almost summoning the waves. Did you see him? He was like pointing out the sea and saying, come on,
give it to me.
Give me a wave. Give me a freaking wave.
Oh, my gosh, he is screaming in the water. I can actually hear him from up here. We know Mitch has got a bit of a temp on him if things don't go his way. He's just calling the guards. Come on, give me an opportunity. Give me an opportunity. I just want to have one more go at this guy with 1 minute left.
He's got a minute to go.
It looks flat, and I don't think he's going to get hit there, but he's going to be praying and just
Well, I haven't seen it this flat all morning. I mean, it's not even big enough to bruise your grandmother. It's just tiny out there at the moment. Just a couple of little one-footers breaking on the rocks. It's as flat as Elle Macpherson's stomach. Yeah, well,
Mitch is looking at something. He's hoping that it'll just, because these waves do come up. It's pretty deep back out there, so you don't really see the waves till they actually show themselves when they're a little bit closer. Mitch does look at this little thing, and I don't think he's going to show interest. He's going to paddle to the inside because he's only got 20 seconds left.
Well, he knows what a 7.65 looks like. And he's probably not going to paddle for anything that looks like it's not going to give him that score. Here we go. He's made a move. There's about 10 seconds remaining.
10 seconds, market opportunity. He's a bit deep. He's going to have to paddle his heart out to get on this one. I know Mitch has got a good paddle on him, but does he have the ability to catch this one? He's paddling. 3, 2, 1, and that's that wave was just too small. And Pierre picks it up, and he's going to ride this one, and I don't think it's going to count for him. But what an end there! It's just heartbreaking.